Now, this is ICI's summary chart at the beginning कि आप लोगों को क्या क्या पढ़ना है, what you have to learn. So first you need to know the features. Questions ऐसे ही बनेंगे. See, whenever the question will come, it will be on the features of Companies Act. It will be on the corporate will theory. It will be on incorporation. It will be on share capital. It might be on shares, MOA or AOA. That's it. Other than this, the question will not be upon anything else. किसी और के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आ ही नहीं सकता. यही आपका पूरा है. देखेंगे हम इसको डिटेल में, एक एक चीज हम डिटेल में दिखने वाले हैं. So this is what companies. So before 2013, there was an act, Companies Act 1956. This was a British act. भले ही 1956 में हुआ बनाया, लेकिन it was as good as a British act. जब हर्षद मेहता स्कैम हुआ, when the Harshad Mehta scam happened in 1991-92, the government felt that there is a need to amend this. Till 1991-1992, SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, was just a guiding body. सरकार बोली कि वैसा काम करने का काम सेबी करता था. It had no real powers. Since 91-92, SEBI got real constitutional powers, legal powers, and from there SEBI got its क्या बोलते हैं उसका पिक पॉइंट. वहां से फिर सेबी का नाम बड़ा हो गया, एंड देन स्टार्टेड पेनलाइजिंग, स्टार्टेड लोगों के ऊपर जुर्माना लगाना, पुटिंग देम इन जेल, एंड ऑल दिस थिंग्स स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम देयर. Before going into Companies Act directly, I want to discuss something with you. हमने डिस्कस किया था रिगार्डिंग द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ कंपनीज, हाउ इट इज फॉर्म्ड. Everybody remembers it. When the Britishers came and the East India Company, and it was formed by a charter. Everybody remember the discussion, please? How it was formed? Everybody give me a guess that you remember it or not. That the Westerners came here, then they were on the उनकी राजा का charter था. They had a Rajpatra of their king, and then they started doing business here. And since they were doing together, they called it that company. Everybody remembers all these things. They came to India because of spices. Okay, so Amruta is saying she remembers it. Tanvi says she's remembered. Okay, so I hope everybody recalls it. It's not of as such directly relevant to your studies, but it makes the chapter more interesting. तो कंपनीज कैसे बनाई जाती है सर? कंपनी होती क्या है? व्हाट इज कंपनी बेसिकली मींस? इट सिंपली मींस दैट आपको कोई बिजनेस करना है, यू वांट टू डू सम बिजनेस, एंड यू आर जस्ट लाइक, आपको इसका बिजनेस को यू नीड टू पुट सम क्लॉथ्स. क्या बात करते हो? यस, बिकॉज इफ दिस बिजनेस इज you have to put some clause over it. It is called clothing. So if you do this, see, this clothing is not going to make much sense as far as the business is concerned. आप proprietor रहो, you do it single handedly, you do it in partnership, you do it in LLP, you do it in company, nothing matters, sir. The business is going to be the same. What matters is once you wear the clothing, how people perceive will change. So if you are using the local clothes, that is proprietor, people are not going to trust you much. If you are using some, say for example, a retail store clothes, a partnership, LLP, people might trust you, but not that much. But if you are using like branded clothes, so maybe people might trust you more. So that is what it basically means in layman language. अगर मैं साधारण भाषा में बात करूँ तो ये तुम्हारे कपड़े हैं, on the basis of which the people will put trust on you. So Companies Act, companies, what it is, just a business. You are doing some business, but you want this business to have perpetual life. Perpetual life मतलब you want कि ये कभी बंद ही ना हो. इसके owners बदल जाए, even if all the owners die, even if all the owners change, whatever may be the case, this business should not stop. Even if the managers, all the managers die, all the employees die, whatever may be the case happen, you want this business to go on. And that is why company is formed. In proprietor, if the owner dies, business stops. In partnership, if all the partners dies, business stops. In LLP, if all the partners go bankrupt, If all the partners do some fraud or something of those kind, in that case we have to wind up the LLP because fraud हुआ है. But then in case of क्या बोलते हैं उसको कंपनी, कोई कुछ भी करे, even if a fraud is done, the company will not be bound up. Classic example is of Satyam scam. How many of you know the Satyam scam? Put me a Y in the chat box that okay, you know Satyam scam. How many of you know it? And if you don't know it, put N so that I will be able to take a guess. नाम सुना है बोलता है अश्मित. Okay. So I will tell you what happened. See, there was a man called as Raju. Real name, okay, real name. Raju Ramalinga. Real name. So India was it was during the times of the Gandhi's era. Gandhi's means जब Congress government was ruling in India. तो the Sanjay Gandhi man, this Sanjay Gandhi, इनका हमेशा से रहा है कि India should put more efforts in science, technology. ऐसा था, okay. So what happened? A man came called as Raju. It is his real name, okay. His complete name was I will tell you, Ramalinga Raju, okay. Now this was in during 2009. Everything came back. सब सामने आया 2009 में. What he did? He formed a company, Satyam Computers. This company का काम क्या होता था? The basic nature of this company was that फॉरेन में यूएस यूके वॉट एवर नेशंस दे इनकी इधर जब सॉफ्टवेयर बनाने कोई इनके इधर सॉफ्टवेयर बनाना है और मे बी जैसे आप देखते हो ना व्हेन यू बुक समथिंग ओवर कॉल जैसे अभी आपने सुना होगा द नेम्स ऑफ दिस कंपनीज WNS एंड ऑल दोस कंपनीज दे डू डेटा एंट्री. So I just want to say कि whatever work US UK people or all the westerners wanted to do, India had cheap labor. India has cheap labor. चीप लेबर मीन्स इंडिया में काम की बहुत जरूरत है और लोग बहुत ज्यादा है. तो वी डू द वर्क फॉर वेरी चीप पैकेजेस. तो इंडिया हैज चीप लेबर. So these people, these UK US companies used to outsource their work to Indians. So Satyam used to take those contracts and build it. सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट हो गया जैसे आज इन्फोसिस है टाटा TCS है व्हाट दे आर डूइंग दे यूज्ड टू डू इट. देयर वाज नथिंग लाइक दोस सत्यम कंप्यूटर्स एट दैट टाइम, ओके. And it grew so massively that it got US best startup award. Raju was invited in US. He was given an award. Okay, wow, you have done such a, because it was such a giant information technology company. It was a giant IT company. What was Raju actually doing? If this is company's balance sheet, there were fixed deposits of rupees 10,000 crore. How much? 10,000 crore. Raju one went to the bank. एक बार बैंक में गया. He told him, dear bankers, I have lost my original receipt, original FD receipt. I want a duplicate one. सब लोग समझ रहे हैं यहाँ तक? Everybody is able to understand what I am trying to say. Shiva, everybody is trying to comprehend what I am telling till here. So he told the bank, I want a duplicate receipts. Bank gave him a duplicate FD receipt. Okay. Now इसका ओरिजिनल रिसीट गुम नहीं हुआ था. द ओरिजिनल रिसीट वाज नॉट लॉस्ट. He told the bankers he has lost it. Now what he did, after he took the duplicate receipt, he again went to the bank. बैंक को बोला, ओ आई गॉट द ओरिजिनल रिसिट, सी दिस इज दिस. He gave the original receipt to the bank and withdrew 10,000 crores. तो हुआ क्या है देखो, 10,000 crores are not in the FDs anymore. Original receipt is given back to the bank, but Raju still has that duplicate receipt with him. Now this Raju is very Hushiyar. What he does not deletes 10,000 crore from the investments from the balance sheet. Balance sheet में आज भी 10,000 करोड़ की एफडी दिखती है. नो आप लोग सीए कोर्स कर रहे हो, आपको पता नहीं आपकी कीमत क्या है. आप बन गए ऑडिटर इस कंपनी के. नाउ यू आर ऑडिटर ऑफ दिस कंपनी. प्राउडली बताता हूँ, पीडब्ल्यूसी प्राइस वाटर हाउस कूपर के पास ऑडिट था. पीडब्ल्यूसी ऑडिटर्स कम, they see, oh, 10,000 crores FD, very big company. Show the receipts. He shows the duplicate receipt. They tick on it. They tick on this. Sign the balance sheet. Oh, all good. All good. What Raju does, he uses this 10,000 crores to buy massive lands and create shell companies. जब हम पढ़ने वाले हैं कॉर्पोरेट व्हील आइडेंटिफाई करने वाले हैं. शेल कंपनीज मींस दोस कंपनीज विच आर फेक, क्रिएटेड फॉर अ फेक पर्पस. तो रफली क्रिएटेड 1,000 कंपनीज. उसने 1,000 कंपनीज बनाई अपने भाई के नाम पे, अपने ड्राइवर के नाम पे, ऑन द नेम ऑफ हिज ड्राइवर, ऑन द नेम ऑफ हिज ब्रदर, ऑन द नेम ऑफ हिज इवन अ डॉग, पेट एनिमल. So he created like these companies, shell companies, and these shell companies used to buy land near Bangalore. Sir, why near Bangalore? Because government ने राजू को बोला था, we are building a highway near Bangalore. So basically these companies were dealing in real estate and they were earning huge money from real estate. लेकिन जब ये बैंगलोर हाईवे का बात हुआ, when the highway was being brought up, Raju put up all his 10,000 crores plus the profit he earned from this real estate business in buying lands near this highway. One day, the government cancelled the project. The moe moment for Raju. खरीद तो लिया जमीनें, but government cancelled the project. The market price came down heavily and Raju lost everything. So what Raju does, Raju एक दिन सुबह उठता है, he wakes up one fine day and writes a letter to the Prime Minister of India. I have done this fraud and now I am not able to cope up with it. That's why I am disclosing all these things. And तब बाहर आया in 2009 the Satyam scandal. PwC was banned for 5 years from doing audit. And इतने fraud होने के बाद फिर 2013 में the Companies Act was then prepared. And that's why आप लोगों को, that is the reason why you guys are all like constantly being taught about liabilities, corporate wills. Your teacher will never tell you these things. But that is the reason you have to learn about the corporate will and the liability, because this fraud used to happen like this. And you know, after this fraud, आपके हिसाब से, you guys tell me, what should happen to the Satyam Limited company? What should happen? Everybody, fast. What ideally should have happened to the Satyam company? It was a listed company, guys. People used to trade its shares. Can anybody take a guess? Take a Mansi says banned. Mansi, you are very wrong. Today, this company runs in the name of Mahindra Satyam Tech Limited, and this is a listed company. Can you guys imagine the perpetual succession? Because Mansi company ने नहीं fraud किया. The fraud was not done by the company. Fraud was done by its promoter, its shareholder, or we could say its director, Raju. That is the reason we are learning here perpetual succession again and again, again. Schmidt directors are still in jail. Cases are still going on. Some have died, some are still alive. अगर आपको रियल स्टेटस देखना है तो just a minute. Exactly, Amruta. The company was purchased by Mahindra. See this. The company was then purchased by Mahindra. Let me show you. Can you see this? This was that man. The जिसने इतना बड़ा मस्ती किया. सब झूठा किया, सब झूठा. 7,008 करोड़ पहले लगा था. And then accounting fraud. This was accounting fraud. Fake invoices. कुछ भी सब झूठा. Then Tech Mahindra finally purchased the firm. Raju. The Tera Ferry Raju name is taken. See, stock price 10 to 554 rupees. 10 रुपए से शुरू करके it got the Golden Peacock Award in 2008. See what happened then? Government ने 2013 लाया. The government brought up the companies at 2013. ICI made the auditors liabilities more stringent. सेबी को पावर्स दी गई. SFI को पावर्स दी गई. अरे ये क्या आ गया? See PwC कब खत्म PwC? I have worked with PwC. PricewaterhouseCoopers. And Mahindra bought it. Is the owners are still in jail? I guess many things happened to them after that, but I don't know the current status exactly. So can you imagine the chapter that you were reading for 4 and 5 marks? The gravity of that chapter is this much. And it all comes back to one man, the chartered accountant who did not found it. वो सीए जिसने हाथ मिलाए और साइन कर दिया ऑडिट रिपोर्ट पे. यूएस ने अवार्ड दे दिया उसको. यूएस ने. We don't have any constitutional powers as a CA, but we surely have that much of responsibility on our shoulders कि हम ऐसा कुछ ना करें कि that will literally take away the what you can say trust of people. So that's why this is the perpetual succession, guys. Fraud के बाद भी बंद नहीं हुई कंपनी. Limited liability, artificial judicial person, separate legal entity, different from members. Will क्या होता है corporate will? Everybody getting now the relevance and the weight of this chapter? So I don't think so Companies Act have ever been this much interesting to you ever before. पहले तो सिर्फ पढ़ा था सर. पहले तो सिर्फ पढ़ा था हम. So everybody got the case study. Everybody so आपको भी आगे जाके ऐसा कुछ करना है बड़ा होके. You guys have to do something big like this. I'm not talking fraud की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. करो करो फ्रॉड भी करो, कुछ नहीं होता है. सब चलता है दुनिया में. फ्रॉड करो, सब करो, सब करो. आपके साथ भी तो फ्रॉड हो रहा ही होगा अभी. Those who are feeling मतलब if there would have been somebody in this class who is in a relationship, तो anyways आपके साथ फ्रॉड ही हो रहा है सर. आपको जो लगता है ना परमानेंट है, it is like the Satyam scam with you happening. तुम खुद परमानेंट नहीं हो, तुम्हारा रिलेशन क्या परमानेंट रहेगा। छोड़ो, पढ़ाई पे ध्यान दो ज्यादा, फायदा होगा। बाकी चीजों पे ध्यान दोगे तो उनका फायदा होगा। एग्जैक्टली कृष्णा, फ्यूचर मोए मोए। राजू, राजू का बहुत बड़ा मोए मोए। राजू, राजू, आई फील वेरी सैड फॉर राजू। He has to write a letter to the Prime Minister of India. Can you imagine? Can you imagine you're doing a fraud and writing a letter? Oh, Prime Minister, sorry, I did a fraud and now I cannot sustain it. PM क्या करेगा भाई? PM क्या करेगा? What the PM will do? And the irony was that the government was of Congress. So people raised eyebrows. Ke why the PM is getting involved in all this? So there was allegations that Prime Minister तक पैसे पहुंचते थे. We don't know what happened, but in Harshad Mehta series also you would have seen that all the politicians were supplied money, keeping their mouth shut. So let it be. Chalo, let's move with the applicability, sir. To whom the Companies Act is applicable. This is completely irrelevant for us. Just read it once. It is applicable for any companies incorporated under this act. Means जो companies 2013 and उसके बाद बनी companies which have formed after 2013 will be registered under this act. And those under 1956, Infosys, Mahindra, Satyam, all those were 1956 companies. So to them also this act gets applicable. To all the insurance companies, this act gets applicable. To all the banking companies, this act is applicable. To all the electricity generating companies, this act is applicable. To all the body corporates for if the central government so specify. Always remember, companies तीन type की होती है. Companies are formed on the basis of three types. One are the normal companies that we guys form. That me, Krishna, Tanvi, and say for example Mansi, we all come together and we form a company. So this company will be registered under the Companies Act 2013 or 1956. These are called as registered companies. Then there are second type of companies where the government meets, जो MLA, legislatures, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, President, and all those make a bill, make an act. So this act will be called as a Life Insurance Corporation of India Act. And in this act, a company will be formed called as LIC of India Corporation. This will not be registered under the Companies Act. No, no, no. It will have its own separate act. But as far as there will be like balance sheet कैसे बनानी है, how to make the profit and loss, and all those things will be provided by the Companies Act. But if in LIC Act it is given that LIC cannot do this, give loans to its directors, example, and if it is written in Companies Act it can give loan to its directors, then in that case this specific provisions will apply because it has its own act. उसका खुद का act है तो उसके specific provisions apply हो जाएंगे. Same, government ने SEBI Act बनाया. Government formed Securities Exchange Board of India as a corporate entity. Corporate नहीं, as a legal entity. Government RBI Act बनाया, RBI entity बन गई. तो same way, government forms BPCL, IOCL, HPCL. So India में for insurance, there is an act called as Insurance Regulation Development Authority of India Act. For banks, there is a Banking Regulation Act and there is a Reserve Bank of India Act. So as far as nothing is given in IRDA or RBI Act, Companies Act के provisions apply हो जाएंगी. If nothing is given in IRDA and RBI, Companies Act provisions will get applied. But if something is given in IRDA, जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे बताया, that directors can be given loan and Companies Act में बोला directors can't be given loan, then we will follow the specific acts provision. So that is what is written here. So Companies Act will be applied except where the said act are inconsistent with the provisions of insurance, that is IRDA Act, or in the case of banking, until Companies Act is applicable until and unless it is not contradictory to the Banking Regulation Act. Same for electricity, there is Electricity Act. So everybody got to know what I wanted to say. So Companies Act will be applicable to all the companies under this act or previous act, and BIPs, that is banking, insurance, and what was the last one? All those things. The time pass itna kuch itna, that is not that much relevant. Next is fees definition. 220, section 220 of the Companies Act that defines company as, company means a company incorporated under this act or under any previous law. That's it. there is a word used, means. मैंने बताया आपको difference between means and includes. Everybody remembers? Does everybody remembers this means and includes का difference? means exhaustive. Whatever is written here वही सिर्फ सच है, इसके अलावा कुछ भी ऐड मत करो. Includes means this is inclusive. यहाँ पे लिखा है वो तो है ही है, but if something also resembles this, it will also be added. We have discussed it before also, means and includes. At CA foundation level, these things are completely irrelevant. But since you are law students, you should know these things. Features of the company, we are going to go in detail. Raju's company never died, perpetual succession. Company did not face any problem. Raju faced it, separate legal entity. That is, nobody filed the case on the company, but filed case on Raju. Raju did a fraud, that's why we took his personal assets. But बाकी के shareholders, those like your father would have bought Satyam के shares, तो only the shares की value कम हो गई होती. Your father wouldn't have got a call from CB, चलो पैसे लाओ. That is limited liability. An artificial judicial person means that Raju entered all the contracts in the name of the entity, in the name of the company. So the company can contract. So we are going to deal with everything in detail now. So everybody is getting a what do we say, clear idea of what I'm trying to convey. Guys, बहुत जान लगा देता हूँ मैं to make the classes interesting. I took tremendous efforts to make this law classes interesting for you. I don't want to anybody of you to say, to tell to anybody who asks you कि सर के पास जाना चाहिए, to tell नहीं यार बोर कर देते हैं, नहीं यार concepts नहीं बताते, नहीं यार सिर्फ translation करते, reading करते हैं. That's why I make efforts, I take efforts to make you. अच्छा, I don't keep on giving examples like anything. Okay, आज तक we have not discussed any single example which had no relevance or which was like कि बस आपको बताना इसलिए बता दिया. Whatever we have discussed, it had all the context within the textbook. तो अपने textbook से relevant ही context मैंने आपको बताया है. So please, if I'm taking this much efforts, I expect you guys also take like those efforts. And आपके end से I don't want anything else but getting a message. I want all those you participants to tell me, sir, pass. कोई था जो स्टार्टिंग में was feeling very negative after the result came and now is very stable, very perceptive, very positive about the results, about the exams. And कोई है जो now is still negative, अभी भी वैसा ही है जैसे पहले था. Mansi, तो you are feeling still negative or got some improvement in your perception? No positive means negative. अच्छा अच्छा, it's achievable. It's surely achievable. What is this? उसमें कुछ है ही नहीं. Those who still think कि something आप कुछ ऐसा कर रहे हो जो बहुत अलग है, तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Guys, it's very manageable thing. I told you, I took an interview. She revised law 8 times and she scored 353 out of 400. 3 बार accounts revise किया, 3 बार maths revise किया, 8 times accounts, 8 times economics. That's it. That is another part that she told me that she used my tricks very extensively. The BCR, BCK tricks and all those. The maths tricks also. But अगर मैं main momentum को देखूं तो it was due to her revision. So first let's move to the part separate legal entity. Sir, what do I mean by separate legal entity? Separate मतलब अलग. Okay, different, distinct. Legal means in the eyes of the law, and entity means existence. So in the eyes of law, in the eyes of the court will see a company different from its owners. Sir, what is owners? We'll going to discuss it. But just remember, for court, a company is different from its owners. We will go to the members thing now. I'm going to tell you how shares are made, what shares actually means, what debentures mean. We are going to go in detail, okay? So company has a unique character of separate legal entity. It is cloth. It uses the cloth of a legal person's personality. It is different from it, distinct from its members. A company can own property, खुद के नाम पे property खरीद सकती है. They can have its own bank account. They can raise loans. They can incur liabilities. They can enter into contracts. A firm cannot do this. The firm can have bank account. The firm can have own property, but everywhere the partners have to be guarantor. Partners have to be the co-applicant. In the case of company, it is not like that. Then even the members can contract with the company. Members, what do you mean by members? I want to say owners. We are going to come in go into its details, but just remember, the owners can also contract with the company. They can acquire right against it, that is, they can file a case against it. They can incur liability to it, right against it, or we can say कि हम उससे asset खरीद सकते हैं. We can क्या क्या है प्लस प्लस गौतम Gautam doing some black magic or what? Achha, sorry. Okay, okay. I thought trying to hypnotize somebody. राजू बनना चाहते हो? तथास्तु. So, you can buy assets from the company. My keyboard is not working. Okay. No issues, Gautam. You just listen then. The assets, you can buy assets of the company. You can be liable to the company. Company के against कोई liability ले सकते हो. See, buying goods from the company and then payable to it. Okay. Always remember, only creditors can file a case against it, not its members. क्या बोल रहे हो sir? जैसे for example, when the Satyam scam happened, so Gautam had purchased 100 shares of Satyam at rupees 544. So Gautam had invested 54,400 rupees in Satyam company. Gautam had already invested 54,400. Now what happens, sir? What happens? This Satyam company has also taken a loan from a bank. Now when the fraud came out, na, तो एवरीबडी रश टू द कोर्ट. सब कोर्ट में चले गए, सर हमको पैसा चाहिए, पैसा चाहिए, पैसा चाहिए, पैसा चाहिए. तो दिस सेज कि सिर्फ बैंक लोन वाले केस दाखिल कर सकते हैं. शेयर होल्डर नहीं बोल सकते हमें हमारा पैसा दो. क्यों? अरे यू आर ओनर्स. ओनर्स आर बाउंड टू टेक द रिस्क. सो इफ समथिंग हैज बीन डन रॉन्ग, तुम्हारे 54,400 विल बिकम जीरो. ऑब्वियसली तुम्हारे घर पे नहीं आएंगे. दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी. Everybody getting what I'm trying to convey? Only creditors can sue it, not its members. So in paper, you have to write separate legal entity. First point, it has a separate legal entity. It is clothed with a legal personality. It can own property, have bank account. That's it. आगे का नहीं लिखा तो भी चलेगा. Then your next point will be only creditors can sue it and not its members. Okay, and you have to write that the shareholders are not private or joint owners of the company's property, but only the company is its owner. This will be your 4 points for separate legal entity. Now, this happened, Macura versus Northern Insurance Company Limited. A time pass case, what happened was, say there was a company. First, let's understand what does a member and shareholder mean. ज्यादा कुछ नहीं होता, एकदम आसान है, टाइम पास कॉन्सेप्ट है. So see, for example, me, so say Chinmay, Mansi, Gautam, and Krishna. We formed a company, CMGC Limited, CMGK Limited. Now we will need money. हमको पैसे तो चाहिए धंधा करने के लिए. What we will do? We will tell the registrar of companies, the ROCs, that sir, our maximum capital that we can raise from the market is, say for example 10. इससे ज्यादा हम पैसा मार्केट से नहीं लेंगे. तो आरओ से ले, ओके, कोई इशू नहीं. Now we don't need 10 lakh immediately, we just need 1 lakh rupees. So what we will do, we will tell ROC, सर हम 10 लाख कैसे रेज करेंगे पता है? How we are going to 10 lakh raise 10 lakh if we need? We are going to print papers. This paper will be a ownership document. क्या बात करते हो? Yes sir. This paper will mean that if the company is 100%, then 1% ownership is with you. So if we have 10 lakh, if we want to raise 10 lakh, sir, each paper will cost rupees 10. That is, the company is basically is going to have 1 lakh shares of rupees 10 each. So if somebody buys one share, you will be owner of 10th part of the company, not 10th part, but 10 rupees of the company. If somebody buys all 1 lakh shares, he will be 100% owner of that company. This is how shares are raised. This is how shares are sold. So what we will do, Chinmay will take say 200 shares, Mansi will take 200, Gautam will take 200, Krishna might take 500 shares. So Chinmay has to pay 2000 rupees. Again Mansi 2000, Gautam 2000 and Krishna has to pay 5000. So company got 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6, 5, 11. Company got 11,000 rupees. Company needs 1 lakh. Right now company needs 1 lakh. What company will do? Company will tell other people, see Devash and all those people, कि भाई हमको पैसा चाहिए, are you interested in buying our shares? So they will simply put their money and they will get the share certificate. Sir, ये share certificate लेके क्या फायदा होगा? Can anybody tell me? What is the use? What is the benefit of buying? Why somebody will invest in me? Why somebody will buy these shares? This is not loan that I am going to get interest on it. मुझे इस पे interest नहीं मिलने वाला. This is not some share in partnership that I'm going to get some share in profits. Why the hell somebody will buy it? Tell me. Why the hell Devashi will buy it, Mansi? Why the hell Gautam Krishna will buy it? Why even Chinmay? चलो ये छोड़ो, they want, they have the idea with them, so they are doing it. बाकी के लोग क्यों पैसा डालेंगे? So company क्या करती है? If company earns say 1 lakh rupees as profit ना, तो company decides कि अच्छा 1 lakh rupees profit है, how many per share? तो 1 lakh profit divided by हमारे पास अभी कितने शेयर है सर? 200 200 200 500. So देखिए 1100 शेयर है, so divided by 1100, तो 0000, तो यार कितना आ गया ये? तो मान लीजिए एग्जांपल 100 पर शेयर, तो कंपनी विल गिव दिस 100 पर शेयर to all the shareholders as dividend. Exactly, Krishna. This is called as dividend. So if your father is holding 2 shares, he will get 200 rupees. 2 into 100. If you are holding 6 shares, you will get 600 rupees. I am holding 200 shares, so I will get 20,000 rupees. तो मैंने एक तरीके से profit distribute किया, I distributed the profit. But since it is not a partnership firm, we cannot say that it is distribution of profit. Okay, so this is called as dividend. Everybody got the concept of dividend now? Everybody got the concept? In the balance sheet of a company, we write it like this. If this is the balance sheet, here we write share capital. So under share capital, there is something called as issued, paid up and share, and we don't need to go into those details, but just remember this is the share capital जिसका पैसा अपने को मिला है. तो 1100 शेयर खरीदे रहे 4 लोगों ने, and they have given us 11,000 rupees. So 11,000 will come here. So the maximum share capital that we can raise from the market is 10 lakh. This is called as authorized capital. This is the maximum. ये सबसे maximum, इससे ज़्यादा हम नहीं मांग सकते लोगों से पैसा. And that which we have actually issued in the market is called as issued capital. Everybody getting the concepts more clear now what I'm trying to convey? So these people na, that is Gautam, Chinmay, Mansi and Krishna, these are called as shareholders. And they get dividend for their investment. These shareholders are called as real owners of the company. But tell me, you buy a share of Reliance, क्या आप रोज जाके मुकेश अंबानी के साथ बैठोगे? चलो मुकेश भाई आज क्या धंधा करना है बताओ? Going to go with मुकेश अंबानी सेट हो गए, चलो बताओ आज क्या धंधा करना है? नहीं रे दादा, नहीं. You are only the owners of the company. The managers are different. The one who manages the business are different. So these owners meet at a meeting. एक meeting में मिलते हैं जिसको कहते हैं annual general meeting. इस meeting में they decide who will manage the business. So say Mukesh Ambani will be the managing director, Ratan Tata will be the chairman, and all these people will manage the business. So only the managers manages the business. These are called as board of directors. ये owner नहीं है. These are the managing directors or the managers. So if Mukesh Ambani holds 51% share capital, he is owner also, and he is also managing director. So he is a manager also. and whatever happens to him, company will still exist to continue. Everybody getting the difference? So shareholders are owners. मैनेजर्स को अंग्रेजी में बोलेंगे सर बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स. It is a group of people, that's why board, and they give direction to the business, that's why directors, board of directors. So let's come back to our chapter. What happened? Mr. M ने made a company. Okay, he formed a company and he hold all the shares. He purchased all the shares of the timber company except one share. Sir, क्यों? अरे this one share was given to somebody else so that two owners will be there. There will be two owners. Okay. Now what happened? Timber यानी wood, लाकूड. Okay. So what happened? He insured the wood of the company, but he was like कि यार सारे shares मेरे हैं तो it is like as good as I am the owner. So what he did? He contracted with the insurance company. क्या? If the timber get the wood, if the timber gets destroyed, pay me the compensation. Tell me, even if he is the owner, is he allowed to enter into contracts in his own name rather than the company's name? Should he be allowed? No. Company का purpose ही है that the company should enter into contract. Now what happened? Someday the timber got destroyed. The insurance company said, "Oh Malik, I cannot pay you the compensation." He said, "Why?" Arey, because you did not own the timber at all. The timber was of the company's. Even when you own the shares of the company, you are not owner of the company. It is just that you have some stake. So company की property थी, company ने insurance लेना चाहिए था, तुमने नहीं. And thus बोला के it is allowed. That is a member. Members means shareholder owner does not even have an insurable interest in the property of the company. मालिक आप इसका insurance भी आपके नाम पे नहीं करवा सकते. Everybody getting what I'm trying to convey? This happened in this famous case. Case law याद रखना है? नहीं. You just need to remember this line. A member he does not even have an insurable interest in the property of the company and write something as per your own wish, will, whim. जो आपको याद आए वैसे लिख दो चलेगा. You don't need to write the exact case law name वगैरह nothing. Next is perpetual succession. Members मर जाए बदल जाए. Members die, change. Company goes on. Life goes on. Shares of the company कितने भी हाथ बदले. मतलब सर Krishna, all people, all we four people sell the shares to somebody else, whatever may be the case, sir. The shares of the company may change hands indefinitely. In share market daily, crores of shareholders buy it, crores of shareholders sell the shares. It does not affect the existence of the company. Only law can end it. Sir, matlab you can go to the court, tell it we want to end this company. The court will follow procedure of winding up. Until and unless nobody can end it. Even if the members die, even if the members goes insolvent like Raju, nothing is going to happen. Company, all 7 members died in an aircraft, still the company exists to continue. देखा? कंपनी ने अपनी औकात दिखा दी. ऐसा बोलना चाहता है. Next is for limited liability. Again. When the Raju scam happened, your father would have invested 50,000 in the company as shares. Tell me, did the investigating agency, police वगैरह आपके घर पे आके पैसा मांगे गए? Did they came to your home to ask the money? No. So what was the loss? The loss was that your father's shares value came down to 0. तो मैं ऐसा बोल सकता हूँ that your liability is only limited to the amount invested on the shares. For example, if your father bought 100 shares of 10 each, so 1,000 rupees payable थे. Now your father have only paid 950 rupees till date. 50 rupees is pending. So obviously the company can ask you at the time of liquidation or at the time of this Raju scam, oh please pay the 50 rupees. Please pay the balance 50 rupees. They cannot ask you more. So can I say that your liability is limited only to the unpaid value on the shares? Everybody, can I say this? Can I say this? So that is what is written. the liability of a company member depends upon the kind of the company. So if it is a company limited by shares, कहाँ पे लिखा है मालिक? Limited liability company means a company limited by shares, with the company which issue shares. Then the debts of the company are a company के debt रहेंगे. They do not become the debts of the shareholders. Shareholders का कुछ लेना देना नहीं उनके कर्जों से. And what is the liability of your father? That is the members of the company. It is limited to the extent of the nominal value, face value of the shares held by the day. And they have to pay only unpaid amount on the shares. तो अगर 1000 का 10 का रुपए का शेयर 8 रुपए पे करके रखे तो he is liable only to pay ₹2. If he has paid all ₹10, there is no liability on him to pay anything now. You don't have to pay anything. This is called as company limited by shares or a limited liability company. Then there are second types of companies called as company limited by guarantee. How many of you know what company limited by guarantee actually means? How many of you know it? Can anybody give me any example or at least tell me no that you don't know it so that I will be getting an idea that you don't know it. How many of you know about the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad ABVP? Anybody knows about it? Achha, nobody knows. Okay, let it go. Me, Shiva and Tanvi, we want to form a company for charity purpose. मुझे बताओ for charity के लिए company बनानी है. Are we going to distribute the profits of the company to us? क्या हम इसका profits हमारे पास लेंगे? So if I'm not taking the profits of the company, now I'm not taking the dividend, why the hell I should even contribute to the losses of the company then? Right? This is called as company limited by guarantee. So for example, if me, Shiva and Tanvi wants to, oh my god, this is not working, I guess. So if tomorrow Tanvi, Shiva and Chinmay wants to form a charity company, how many of you here are interested in investing in my company? Come, we don't give any profits. We are charity company. Come and invest in our company. Will you guys even invest ₹1 in my company? You the hell no. You will not invest. Sir, why? अरे you are not. Investment is something जहाँ पे returns मिलते. Charity पे क्या returns मिलेंगे तुमको? So these are the companies which cannot have share capital because share capital रख के क्या करेंगे? Nobody is going to buy it, right? So what we do? We tell the registrar of companies, sir, this is a charity company, nobody is going to buy the shares, so we don't want a share capital company. We want a normal company where if tomorrow something happens, then Tanvi will contribute ₹1 lakh, Shiva will contribute ₹2 lakh, and Chinmay will contribute ₹3 lakh. 3, 4, 5, 6 lakhs. So this will be the maximum contribution that we can give, sir. So ROC will ask for what? Array, sir, if tomorrow a fraud happens in this company, if tomorrow some issue happens in this company, nobody is going to pay it, right? Because nobody is going to buy the shares. So we take the guarantee that we will pay this much. So the NGOs, student union, Gabbar picture dekha, student union, and all these things are formed as company limited by guarantee. If they form it in a company, if they form in a trust, EOP, BOI, बाकी जो रहते हैं तो उस पे बनाएंगे तो अलग बात है. But if they form it as a company, they will be forming it as company limited by guarantee. So here there are no shareholders as such. There are no shares only. Everybody got the concept 100% clear? Okay. So we had discussed about limited liability company and we discussed about company limited by guarantee. So guarantee में the members, Chinmay tha, Gautam tha, Krishna tha, everybody is going to be liable only to the extent of the amount guaranteed by them. and only at the time when the company is into liquidation. Liquidation means to liquidify, to dissolve it, that is to basically stop, legally stop the company completely. So only at the time of liquidation they have to give the amount that they have guaranteed. And then the last type of company is called as unlimited company. Anybody, any idea about unlimited company? So I want to give you example. Let me show you something now. Mm, just a minute, let me show you some examples. So what happens is, I'm not able to find the names now, but what generally happens is, for example, now, uh, say again same, Chinmay, Krishna, say Mansi, and uh, whose name can I take? Okay, so okay, we three wants to form a company. The company can be of two types: private limited, public limited. We are going to come on it also, but for the time being, just remember they can be of two types. So if you are doing a private company, if you're forming a private company and the business is kind of risky, or we could say that we don't know how much money will require. Share capital कितना लगेगा अपने कोई idea नहीं है. So there we form a unlimited type of company. Here, if the even if the company has done something, na, the members के घर पे जाके we can go at the home of the members and sell their personal assets for setting of the liabilities. Sir, but company का आपने तो feature बताया limited liability. Yes, but there is a kind of company called as unlimited liability company. Generally, risky business or private companies having risky business or private companies who don't know how much capital they might require in future will form this type of companies. So they have kind of restrictions, इनके ऊपर restrictions होते हैं, but this is the kind of business. Everybody got to know what I am conveying, I am trying to convey. So if it is an unlimited company, the liability is unlimited. If it is a limited by guarantee, it is limited to the guarantee given by them at the time of liquidation. If it is a limited liability, that is a shareholder company, then the liability is limited only to the unpaid value on the shares. That's it. Next is artificial legal person. So the company is legal or judicial person because it is created by law. We are created by nature, that's why we are natural living person. It is created by law, that's why it is artificial legal person. So इसका क्या मतलब है? ALP just simply means that it can enter into contracts, it can own property, open bank account, it can do everything which a natural person can do. इसके ऊपर फाइन लगाई जा सकती है for doing wrong things and all those things. It can file a case and cases can be filed in its name, but it cannot be sent to jail, take oath, marry, practice, because it is not a natural person. So that is what is written here. So you just need to write that it can enter into contracts, can sue and can be sued in its own name. But since it is not a natural person, it cannot act on its own. खुद ही कुछ एक्शन नहीं ले सकते ये लोग. So it has to do something जिसके मीडियम के थ्रू से, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, it has to have some directors who will sign on its behalf. So it is called as human agency. The company can act only through human agency and called as directors. So directors are not they cannot control affairs of the company as such. ओके, दे कैन नॉट एक्ट एज एजेंट, मतलब वो बाइंड नहीं कर सकते कंपनी को ड्यू टू देयर ओन एक्ट्स, because they are not agents of the company, they are simply managers. They don't own the company, they only manage the company by using its common seal. Common seal means a stamp. Okay, so wherever you put a stamp, you will get a, you are basically authenticating that okay, the company wants it to be happen, company wants it to happen. So that's why it's called as an artificial legal person. Directors. Now common seals means stamp of the company. It is round in shape. Let's see if we can have some example. Seal of Infosys. Hmm. So see, can you see this? We might be having a stamp signature. See, कहाँ पे गया मालिक? आई गेस इसके ऊपर नहीं लगा है, होता है जनरली इस पे होगा। नहीं है, छोड़ो। See, this is the seal basically. Okay, so this is how we this is what is called as stamp. So see, this company is, so see, this is called as seal, Infosys Limited, Bangalore. Everybody able to see it? This is called as seal. See, who has signed company secretary? So the company acts through its directors. So company works through the agency of human beings. Common seal is basically the signature, official signature of the company, which is stamp है ना, तो it can be affixed by the officers and employees. It is a symbol used by the company as its incorporation. Remember, it is optional to have a stamp. क्या बात करते हो सर? Yes, if a company wants to have a seal, it can have. If it does not want to have it, it will not have. Even in the UK, it is optional since 2006. तो सर अगर स्टैंप नहीं है तो हाउ विल बी ऑथराइज द कंपनीज एक्ट? कैसे पता चलेगा कंपनी ने साइन किया है कि नहीं? इन दैट केस, टू डायरेक्टर्स ऑफ द कंपनी or by a director and by a company secretary. So two directors or one director and one company secretary. If two directors sign, it will be authorized. If one director, one company secretary signs, it will be authorized. Can you remember this thing? This easy point. Can everybody comprehend what I'm trying to convey? Okay, Devesh. Okay. Uh, let's stop here only today. I want corporate wheel theory to be completed in a one go. If we start it today, it will not get completed today. So let's stop here. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day. If you have any doubts, please do let me know. Bye bye.